Look, I personally feel that in this situation, you just take one at a time. Our focus has to be the very next game, and how we play our best brand of cricket. We know we haven't played as well as we are capable of doing, and we haven't done that throughout the season. We've seen glimpses of it, but the exciting thing from a team perspective is that we can bring that to the table at the pointy end of the season, and to still feel that we can be playing finals is exciting, because we know we've got the team, we've got the experience and the quality. It's just a case of bringing it to the back end of the tournament.
For me, we know we've got to win two, but we can't be looking too far ahead, because if we lose the first one, the second game doesn't count. So, like Mood said, that we've just got to make sure that we do everything we can over the next couple of days to prepare ourselves well for the Dubai Capitals. We know what they're going to bring, and we can try and combat that. And like Moods also said, we haven't quite clicked, and we know that as a team, batting, bowling in the field. So we're not asking for that perfect performance, because to me that doesn't really exist, but if we can just up the ante in a couple of % here and there, that's all that's going to make the difference. Because like I said, we haven't been at our best, and we've been in some real tight games, and we wouldn't be in the position we are if we had just been at 1 or 2% better, or not saying better, but just more clinical. Yeah, it is a bit of a blow, to be honest. Shafane showed last year and glimpses this year on how powerful and dynamic a player he is, and I think he's although this year he hasn't scored the runs as he did last year, but I think he's a better player, obviously playing in the West Indies one day team too. Can come into different situations and play accordingly. It's very hard to try and replace a player like him, but we've got a couple of new recruits that we've brought in too, and we've also got some power sitting on our bench too. So it's an exciting time for us to see those guys come in and try and win a game for us in these next two games.
No, not really. They've got a different side. We've got a few different members in our side. What's happened in the past is not going to shape what's going to happen in the future. As we've touched on, both of us touched on, really, we know we haven't played our best cricket, and that's our focus is trying to get that to the table on game day, both bat, ball and in the field.
He'll be itching to play some cricket, that's for sure. So that's exciting. He'll want to get out there and dominate with bat and ball, and in the field he's exceptional too. So yeah, it's nice to have him back. He is obviously excited. We're excited for him to go and play or be in a test squad in India, but to get his experience back, it's good for me as a captain as well, and to have a couple of extra spin overs, especially if the wicket's dry, might be helpful for us. But his batting expertise at the top of the order is second to none. So yeah, really excited about him being back.
Yeah, no, obviously he's a three-dimensional player. He's going to add value to the side. And whether we like it or not, the reality is if he performs in these opportunities that he has in the next two games, it may well sort of present an opportunity for him when he goes back to India for the Test series. And a lot of people don't sort of connect form in T20 cricket to other formats of the game, but I can tell you firsthand that it will sort of shape an opinion. If he has a couple of good outings with us with a bat, it will make the selection around England's next playing 11 a more difficult one, given that he's come off some really good innings.
Competitors, both of them, and it's something I'm not saying we've been missing, but even in and around a couple of trainings we've had now, they've just brought a little bit of extra energy, which you expect from new players coming into a group. So that for me is the most exciting thing, and for me the most positive thing, because you can't always control about your performances, but the attitude in and around the group is something that you can always control. And I think they've just come in and, whether it's management talking to them or just their experience, they've just come in and been themselves. We haven't asked them to do anything else, and they fitted in really well. So hopefully that just allows them to go out and play their games in the next two games. And we know Salty's coming off a couple of hundreds in international cricket. Sam Curran, rewind 12 months ago, was the number one all-round in the world for 18 months, and he won a World Cup for England literally single-handedly. So yeah, to add those two to our squad is very exciting. Easy. I won't speak on their behalf, but I think the unity and the culture that we have in this group started from last year, and we got the call back this year. And yeah, it hasn't made for us going and winning games of cricket this year so far, but we've enjoyed our time off the field, and I think that's obviously winning games of cricket is important, but it's those times where you remember playing cricket, and you speak to guys like Alex Hales, who's been around the world, says this environment's one of the best environments he's ever played in, because we get freedom to go and do what we like, but then we've got set structure and we've got things that we need to do for the team. And I think that the management and our coaching staff particularly have given us players freedom to go and do what we like, but then when it's time to train, time to play and switch on, we do that. And I think players can just come in and be free, be themselves. And I think those two players have felt really comfortable over the last 2 days.
Yeah, look, we've seen it already. Within 24 hours, it feels like they've been here for a number of weeks. So that tells everything. No. We'll see on the day.
Yeah, we'll see. We've got our plans, but we are also real flexible. But Salty's happy about anywhere for the team.
Yeah, look, it's always great to have different nationalities come into franchise cricket, and we haven't had the Pakistan players with us in the first season. Pakistan's a very proud cricketing nation, and they've produced some amazing players over the years, and we had the good fortune this year to have some of their great players spend some time with us. So it was great to have their presence here, even though it was short. We were hoping certainly it to be a little bit longer, and I'm sure they were hoping it was going to be a little bit longer. But that's something that we can hopefully rectify moving forward. But their expertise on the field, their experience on the field was welcomed. But also equally off the field, it's always nice for a team to have a different culture, to learn from that culture, but also learn from their cricketing experiences, because they have different experiences than what we have. I know Colin's played in the PSL for a number of years, and he would have experienced that dynamic and learnt a lot from that dynamic. But it's been a great addition to us both on and off the field.
Yeah, exactly. Like Tom said, I've been in the PSL for a number of years, so I know how the Pakistani boys sort of operate, especially Shadab and Azam, who I've played with for the last 3 or 4 years. But for our players, that this is sometimes this is their first franchise tournament, and to get Australian or wherever you're from, and to mix and just talk about cricket, because we see it differently, even being big brother and small brother. But again, you see you get different dynamics and different people coming together, and actually meeting people from different cultures makes you grow as a person. And I think if you can leave here being a better person, but also taking 1% or 2% from somebody else and being a better person, better player, it bodes well for your future as a cricketer too. What is pressure? Everybody goes out there and puts pressure on themselves, and I think that's, if they can alleviate that side of it and just go out and play the game, the result will take care of itself. We know that if we play anywhere near our potential, we'll beat any team in this competition. So we're just trying to strive for that 1% better than what we've been, and we'll come out on top. And pressure is just a word that gets thrown around, and yes, it does pop into your head every now and again. But the best players in the world know how to block that out and just concentrate on the ball, and play the ball as best you can, or deliver the ball as best you can. And we can get into that frame of mind and win more balls than they win, we'll probably come out the right side.
Yeah, I always view pressure as a privilege, simple as that. And when you're playing elite sport, you have the privilege to be playing in those type of pressure situations. So it needs to be embraced. If you're good enough, you wrap your arms around it and you take it on.